Even when they dropped that bomb, they killed our brothers and sisters, but that don't mean they won. May 13th, them dropping the bomb was the ultimate way of showing them, making them feel like they had power.
In 1985, the state's vendetta against MOVE culminated in Mayor Wilson Good's bombing of the Osage Avenue house, which left 11, including 5 children, dead.
Fire experts that were hired by the MOVE Commission said the temperatures in the house reached 2,000 degrees. You melt steel at 2,000 degrees, you know, in a steel mill. Some MOVE members tried to escape. They were driven back into the house by police gunfire.
After the trial of the MOVE 9 and John Africa versus the system, several MOVE members moved to a row house on 6221 Osage Avenue in West Philadelphia. Here, MOVE kept up their work schedule, but their main focus became the search for justice of the MOVE 9. By the end of 1983, government officials on all levels had proved ineffective and unwilling to take any action in MOVE's struggle for the MOVE 9. The media at this point ignored the issue altogether. On December 25, 1983, MOVE ended the media blackout by setting up a loudspeaker on their house and urged neighbors to take action. Neighbors of MOVE complained about MOVE talking on a loudspeaker at all hours of the day and using profanity. Some neighbors also complained of foul smells coming from MOVE headquarters and stray animals under the care of MOVE.
The fact is, if every neighbor on the block complained about MOVE, since when did this government care about black people complaining about their neighbors? Since when? When did the FBI start getting involved in neighborhood disputes?
Aware that the city would indeed try to silence MOVE's protest, MOVE began fortifying their house in preparation for another confrontation like the one on August 8, 1978. On May 11, 1985, Judge Lynn Abraham signed arrest warrants for Ramona, Conrad Frank, and Teresa Africa on charges of disorderly conduct and terrorist threats. On Monday, May 13, 1985, police and firemen launched a full-scale military attack on the MOVE row house. During the police attack on the MOVE household, police flooded the area with tear gas and shot over 10,000 rounds of ammunition at the MOVE house. When these tactics failed to bring MOVE out of their house, a helicopter was brought in, which dropped a bomb on the MOVE house. The bomb started a fire, which ended up burning 60 houses to the ground. After the bombing, Ramona Africa was sentenced to 7 years with conspiracy to riot. At Ramona's trial, Lieutenant Frank Powell, who dropped the bomb, and Officer William Klein, who assembled it, pleaded the fifth. Many investigations were done on the May 13, 1985 bombing of MOVE, but no indictments were ever made. Before the incident was swept under the rug of Philadelphia's history forever, Ramona Africa filed a civil suit against the city, and MOVE ended up receiving some compensation for the May 13th catastrophe.
As long as we got the truth, we will always win out over the system, and it's proven. Because when they dropped that bomb and they killed our people, what they did was they gave us the biggest platform that any organization could ever have. And not only did they do that, but they saw an example of people who will resist regardless of anything. This is natural instinct. If you punch me and I will punch you back. There is no thought process behind it. There is no I'm a cop or you're a cop so I can't do that. There is no, it's just the natural order. You punch me and I will punch you back. If you don't believe it, then try it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's
But then according to the system, police have a right to bully people.
Police have a right to bully people, but according to the natural order of things, the natural law, then you don't. I mean, and that's just the way it is. I mean, and people can say, well, the system, you got to follow the system. You got to follow the laws of the system. Why? Because it seems to be bigger? Well, it ain't bigger than God. God is the universe. It ain't bigger than God. And God dictates that you must defend yourself. and they can't deal with that. Well, that's too bad.
Do you think that, all the police escalation, leading up to May 13th and, everything in between was just kept escalating more and more. Do you think that that was largely motivated by revenge from the police because MOVE did stand up to themselves and the police felt
I think that has something to do with it. I mean, they were mad. It's a pride thing. You ever been in a house and your mother say, all right, you're in charge? And then the people who you're trying to be in charge of won't listen to you? It makes you mad. Because you can't use your power. If they don't listen to you, then you can't use your power. You have no power. Well, then that's how it is with the police. If you don't listen to them, well, then they're powerless. And they get mad about that. So they inflict their brutality. They just were mad because they could not assert their power. And May 13th, them dropping a bomb was the ultimate way of showing them, making them feel like they had power. But I mean, what was it worth it? That's what I would like to ask all those police people, all those policemen that were on the force at that house that day. Was it worth it? MOVE feels the loss of our family members, but we feel the peace of mind that we did nothing wrong. But can they say the same thing? Burkheier, he was the cop who saved Birdie, so-called. Well, he's like in a mental institution, and he's like been so close to suicide so many times, and he just can't really deal with the fact that he did what he did, shot at those people, knowing they were innocent.
But, I mean, according to him, right, he actually dodged police gunfire towards the end when he grabbed Birdie out of the puddle.
Oh, yeah.
And then when he testified that there was police gunfire when they were leaving, he got driven out of the apartment, he got called nigger lover.
Oh, yeah.
And,
oh, yeah.
And that's that really...
What it did was it made him see that he was out there trying to kill the people who he started to see as right. Was it worth it? I bet you he wished he could go back to that day and change his position and change what he was doing. And I bet you a lot of other cops do too.
Did you see these photos of Wilson Good? He was in town recently. He looked really old, like really gray.
Yeah, he looked really bad.
You got to think that, having that hanging on his over his head.
That thing is going to drive him insane. It's driven him insane. They didn't have to do that. Even if they wanted to save face and keep those people in prison, they did not have to drop that bomb. They didn't have to do that. They could have waited until everybody. They could have had another blockade and just waited till everybody came out of the house because they needed something to eat. They could have poured enough water in there so that everybody just had to come out or they would have drowned. They could have done a lot of things. August 8th, they did not drop a bomb. They shot up the house. They threw tear gas in. They even threw a grenade in. But they didn't drop a bomb. They did not have to do that. But that's what they did. And now they got to live with it. They receive what they get from the hands of God. And karma goes around, comes around. I don't even have to worry. I don't even have to hope for them to receive a punishment. If I hope one way or the other, it doesn't matter, because they're going to get what they're going to get regardless. Doesn't even matter to me. They are non-existent to me at this point. My mind is so clear on what it is that I have to do for myself on this personal revolution thing. I don't even concern myself with what's happening with them. It's not even important.
They wanted to drop a bomb on that house and hurt those folks, including the kids in the house that they knew were in the house, but the police commissioner says, I consider them combatants and not hostages of their parents. Once again, would a white police commissioner have considered white children as combatants? I would argue strenuously that that would never happen. But it happened here because they were black kids.
Talking to a woman who actually I won't identify, but who is a lifelong Philadelphian. And once a friend of mine at that time, that period, and I said, the houses on Osage Street are afire. I had just found out. And she said, good. So there's a lot of racial hatred in this country, in this city, in this country, that we have never addressed, and that it's the sin of America.
MOVE's major focus these days is finding justice for the MOVE 9 and MOVE supporter Mumia Abu-Jamal, who are all currently incarcerated in the Pennsylvania prison system.
I got 9 MOVE people sitting in prison right now doing 30 to 100 years for a crime they didn't commit, including my mother and my father.